I kind of snapped out of it was a day where I just played with my girls that day. We played Keep the Balloon Up. This was my kid's birthday. We played outside. We played. We did kinetic sand. Like I just
before it's ever even tested in the physical world, that's a dangerous proposition. Because you're effectively going to say, a human doesn't have the reaction time to take over the vehicle in these situations, but we're going to allow the vehicle to drive in those situations. A human validator doesn't do you any good, and there's other people in the way.
They don't think that they got in trouble 10 minutes ago or that they might get in trouble in the future, you know. And so I think that's a beautiful thing that kids provide is they teach you how to be.
Right, it's like Waymo. It's nice to have the self-driving cars. I just think LiDAR is a silly thing.
So I recently, speaking of Waymo.
Yeah, I don't think you can underestimate the amount of stress that your children put on you, because if you were worth, $10 million, you would definitely have high quality assistants raising your children, and you would come in for the kill, to read them their book at night. Like you would actually optimize your time, but like your children would get everything they need. I mean, and more. So it's just a stress, and it literally is, the thing is, if you want more money, you got to study the symbols, in my opinion. It's an art. It is psychotherapeutic. It is education, intelligence, information, understanding, knowledge. It's, you could study Kabbalah and the Sephiroth, the Sephira. I mean, it's the 10 attributes of the divine pulse, the kingdom, the beauty, the intelligence, the wisdom, the kindness, the
You're the second person, and this is fairly recently, that I heard talk about studying symbols and like the spiritual aspect of getting more money. I had never really thought about it like that until this lady named Lauren of Love talked about it, and then you. So that's interesting.
Yeah, the dollar says in God we trust, which is a trust of God or a God trust. You have, philosophically speaking, a trust with the divine. So if, your family creates a trust for you, or you create a trust, you put assets in it, you have to realize that, if the Abrahamic covenant, if the covenant, of these divine covenants, it's in the dollars, it's on the symbols, it's the all-seeing eye. So it is you, it's the I. So it's you, but it's up to you, but you got to be smart, and it really deals with communication. So if you want more canvases, aka dollars, you have to mass communicate. There's no other alternative. I've worked in spam advertising and mass media buying for 20 fucking years, and that is where all the money's at, because you could get 100,000 people to send you $1. You could get 250 people to send you $1,000. I mean, you have to communicate it, and you'd be amazed that people send you money. I've had, mailboxes stuffed with checks, people sending me money, buying my products. So yeah, I mean, it's communication though, and it's done in clarity, transparency, effective communication, calls to action. It's the dopamine business, which is the hypnosis business. So you can hypnotize your children too. I can't wait to have kids so I can mass hypnotize and spam them and force them to do what I want them to do, because I'm hypnotizing them and they have no choice but to comply. I'm not going to get angry about it, but like, that's the whole thing. It is also like a personality rectification about anger management. How do you not get annoyed ever? How do you not get angry ever? How do you have nothing but infinite amounts of joy and happiness and divine splendor and sublimity? I mean, it's like a hypnosis thing. It is mind over matter in many ways, because you could live in a ghetto. you could actually literally technically live in a ghetto, or a slum, but still think you're like, in the divine realm, and things are great.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, Like, I'm definitely in the poor bracket financially right now. And I'm on government assistance. I am, and I have friends who are in the same situation. And we used to, and this is not great. This is what kept us down a lot of ways. We just would commiserate about it, complain about it, be stressed about it, share that stress with each other, and just keep our mindset in the dark, right? And then I spent some time apart from a couple of those friends, and we like last year reconnected and stuff. And it was funny because one of my friends who's in a similar situation, she's still in that same place. It's that of stress and anxiety all the time, and she assumes that my financial situation got better. I mean, it has a little bit, but she was thinking, oh, you found this peace and this contentment and this joy, and like you don't seem stressed like as stressed and anxious as you used to be. And she's like, oh, you must have a great job now. And I was like, I mean, it's a job that is better than the one I had when I met her, but it wasn't like I was that much more. I wasn't really well off more than she was. And so, yeah, at different times she would ask me like how I got to this point, whatever. But then I would try to explain it, and I did nothing but offend her because and I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to be like, well, I had to let go of this limiting belief, and I had to do this, and I had to decide to do this, and whatever. And I guess she was, I don't know, she was getting offended, like, I don't know, she got angry with me. But anyway, yeah, so to your point, it's like, yeah, it's not like all of a sudden my whole life changed and then I was content. No, I learned to be content with my simple life, and if I do these bigger things that I want, like the nonprofit, whatever, that's just icing on the cake. That is just my way to give back to the world. It's not gonna make or break me. I'm not pinning my peace or contentment on some future goal that may never happen. I'm content now, but yeah, I'm still gonna do this other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you have to find the way, which is equilibrium, which is equilibration or calibrating. Um, you are the Merkava, you are the chariot, so you have to know how to maintain your vehicle. Air pressure, looking in the rearview mirror. I mean, it's speeding, going through red. Like you are the chariot. So, anyways, I mean, I hope this has been psychotherapeutically helpful for you and fun. This has been called How to Find and Attract Quality Women Through God. And look, scientifically, we proved it. Rachel showed up, and you attract, the bees, the birds to the flower with the nectar. We created the ambrosia, the magic with the words, and a quality woman appeared and confirmed our hypothesis. And Scott, my book club co-president, audiobook creator, co-president, podcast creator extraordinaire, a theologian with a penchant for the whiskey. They say even a bishop is 20% water. Scott, any final words? Rachel, any final words? Go ahead. Take it away.
Well, this was immensely fun and very helpful. So I thank you so much. And now I shall go forth and calibrate my life. Yes.
Just remember, pedal, program, enter, time, and level.
Got it.
It's at the gym, on the elliptical. But it's a metaphor
I actually do the elliptical and the bike.
Yeah, you gotta move. I mean, I see kids playing. It's too bad the kids can't even work out, Like, why can't you take your kids into the gym and, like...
Oh, actually, I go to the Y, and my kid's 10. She gets to use the elliptical and the bike. She just can't use... those are the only two things she can use. And then when she's 12, she can use it all. So yeah.
That's crazy. Why do they make them wait? Like, you should have kids lifting weights when they're like 10. I guess you got to do it at home. I bought my my neighbors. They were always like, I don't know, were they arguing or always constantly smoking weed on the balcony? And I would end up smoking weed with them. But I bought the dad a dumbbell, like a 15-pound dumbbell, and I was like, bro, you have to lift weights. I was like, they were he's so skinny. And I was like, man, if you're gonna come out here and smoke weed, you might as well just like pump some iron too. So that was, that was a nice gift. Like, he was like, man, never had a dumbbell. I was like, congratulations, dumbbell. Okay, so Scott, anything else? Rachel, anything else? Because this is it. Like, I'm ready to I wouldn't even mind going to bed right now, but I'm always feel so compelled to go out on a Saturday night because, if I don't have a beautiful woman in my life, like, you have to make the effort to go to where the beautiful women are congregating, which is a shame that they go to drink whiskey and vodka and tequila. But that's what women do, and women hold up half the sky. And men wouldn't go to bars if women didn't go to bars, because men wouldn't want to just go hang out with men all day long, right, Scott? I wouldn't want to go to a bar to just talk with men. I mean, I guess if I was like trying to sell insurance or something.
Well, too bad we can't hang out, because I think that would be cool.
We are hanging out right now. That's the thing. It's like, this is a date.
I was just about to say that.
I went out on a date last night with a nice girl, and it's like, we spent 3 hours together. It's like, well, we could have also just talked on Clubhouse, but it's much better in the flesh. But it's the same conversation. With me, I'm always talking pretty much about the same thing, or just enjoying the moment. But you could inverse the title of this room to "How to Find and Attract Quality Men Through God." The thing is, I just think, even if you're an atheist or an agnostic or a theist, that we live in such a despicable culture that if you pair up with somebody who is not like LARPing God, even if they don't believe it, like at least reading it and like gaining the wisdom, there's no downside to it. So I just can't stand a lot of these atheists on this app who are just so miserable and petty and ridiculous, and they can't even admit that they're just here for the dopamine, but that, that they just can't comprehend wisdom and the importance of it and why it gives you confidence and why it gives you joy and gives you courage and gives you strength and gives you I don't know, just I feel like, the confidence thing is the big one, where even if you're confronted with like an overwhelming environment or person, because you've spent so much time ingesting wisdom, you're just like, oh, hi, like you said, mirroring, or it's just another godding, that you're not taken aback or emotionally fluxed. Basically, this has to do with pulse control or impulse control in many ways. Because, you're, yeah, if that makes any sense.
No, it's the person that I referenced that I was missing. Unfortunately, when we met, it was just like that. It was like we were like, hi, we recognized not just ourselves, but like God in each of us. It's like we actually saw each other, and we are such kindred spirits. But I don't know, tomorrow I don't want to deal with that. I have to clean the bath, and I was like, then I was in the middle of saying something. I'll be right there. Okay. But yeah, I was gonna say was that unfortunately, we developed like feelings for each other, and he's freaking. The problem is he's freaking married, right? So that's not going to happen. That's not going to go anywhere. But at the very least, it awakens me to realize, hey, I can attract that quality of a person because he is a good quality of a person, and you know. So anyway, hi, Colin. I don't know who you are.
I'm sorry, Madam Rachel, to interrupt.
Okay.
But anyway, I was just saying was that it's just unfortunate that we felt that connection, and we do have a deep soul connection. But we didn't act upon it, so we did control our impulses, right? Because it wouldn't be right. But yeah. Anyway, I just like the only bummer is I don't come often across a connection like that in person. It's happened maybe a couple times here on this app. But like the way we were just talking tonight, like that's the way me and this guy talking, like it's cool. But like, yeah. Anyway, all I was gonna say about that.
Yeah, but I mean, once you have these, the thing is, even if you're in a relationship and you have these conversations, it's like you have them, but you don't repeat them. You know, it's like coming on. I come on Clubhouse, I say the same shit, I guess, but in the real world, like, you know, I don't really want to repeat myself. Like, I just want to be in the material world.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I dated this girl once, and she's like, my ex-boyfriend, whenever he would smoke weed, he'd stop talking. And I was like, he'd stop talking or stop talking to you? She's like, both. I'm like, well, I mean, that's what weed does in many ways. It creates the unity. So you're like, okay, I don't need to communicate anymore with words. I'm just doing stuff.
Yeah. Because you have that connection.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you know, I believe in communication because it's like when, you know, this girl last night, she's like, you're so expressive, you know, and I thank you for that. And I'm like, well, you're very expressive too. You know, it takes two to communicate. So, I don't know. The thing is, like, you know, I don't know where you live. Where do you live? You don't have to say it, but anyways.
I don't mind. I live in Oklahoma.
Oh.
I'm from California. I lived in LA and stuff. For 27 years.
Whoa.
Actually, yeah.
I lived in LA for 5 years.
Where?
I lived in West. I lived in.
But you don't have to say.
I'm in Chicago. I lived in West LA and then Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach. But my point is that, like, again, it's kind of like the kid issue, where if you had enough money, you know, you could travel and meet a lot of people. And really, Clubhouse is very, you know, small. It's actually very small compared to, like, if you were to travel the country and go to Miami, New York, San Francisco, San Diego. Like, you could meet a lot of men, you know, but you don't have the time or the money to go meet 1,000 men over the next 90 days, you know?
Yeah, that's part of the problem, yeah. I used to have, I was trained so hard to get, like, a great job, like, and I had one, this work from home job. It paid really well. It just was an independent contractor. But my dream was, like, I only had it for a year, and I lost it, but anyway, I had these grand ideas of, like, oh, maybe me and my kids can travel because now they're going to virtual school too, and like we can go travel and this, and so I was really working on this year and like improving my financial situation so I can travel with this job. But then guess what? They have lawsuits against them for misclassifying us as independent contractors. So they're in hot water. So that was a bummer. But who knows? Maybe I'll still fulfill that dream of like, I think my children would get a much better education if I took them to travel. So yeah. So until that day, I travel in my mind, and I travel with my books and my movies, and talking to my international friends. Chicago's cool. I've just been there. I've just been there once. I actually met somebody on this app that I started dating. and they were in Indiana, but I also was dating the woman at the same time who was dating the guy too. So we all met up in Chicago.
Yeah, I just put some soup on in the kitchen. I was like totally planning on going out tonight, but I don't know. Sometimes that second wind comes. Uh-oh, Mr. Anderson is here. The moment she licked me arsehole, she was dead to me. We just got back from the nightclub. I hadn't even showered. She reinitiated hot, sweaty sex with me. The moment she licked. That's my impersonation of T-Rubs down there. Uh-oh, Abraham is here, aka Lou. Tim is garbage. Yeah, God, tell Tim how much of a piece of trash that Northern Irish fucking SEO optimizer is. I wrote a website in WordPress. It's a marketplace. People upload shit. And they fucking get the search engine optimization value from all the spam that my fucking customers and website users upload. Come on, I gotta take me dog for a walk. Come here, Lassie. What was your dog's name? What was it?
Oh my god, as you were doing that, there was a little bit of Yoda in that impersonation.
Well, he is a leprechaun. Yoda was like a leprechaun. Have you ever, Rachel? Have you ever dated a man under 5 foot?
No, I mean I dated. Okay, is he?
T-Robs is like 4'11". He's almost 5 foot.
The shortest I've dated a guy was 5'2", and I'm 5'4".
Oh wow. Yep, T-Robs would, T-Robs, what's it like being 4'11"? Do like women respect you at the bar? I've seen your photo. I mean, you're nothing to, get excited about. I mean, you look like a glue stick, basically.
I don't even understand women's preference or fascination with guys being tall. To me, I'm just like, why does that matter? It does not matter to me.
Well, that's because you're short.
I mean, even women my height, they're like go crazy over like a 6 foot person. But I've dated I've dated really tall guys. I've dated short guys, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, but that's the balancing act. If you're short and rich, or you're, short, rich, and ugly, that works. But if you're tall, handsome, and rich, I mean, that's even better. Glue stick, that's right. People are laughing at my T-Rob's glue stick comparison.
Yeah, I don't know. That guy I was talking about. I ever since I first met him, he the first time we met, we talked about how we're cat lovers, right? And he constantly reminded me how much he loves cats, and so we're on this messenger today, and you could know how on Facebook Messenger, maybe you don't know, but like you can change the theme. So I changed it to a cat theme one time because he loves cats. So then I accidentally hit the reaction button, which is normally a thumbs up, but I changed it to a cat, right? And I hit it by accident. And I was like, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit that button. And he goes, oh, it's okay. He said, haha, it's okay. I love cats, so it's all good. And but he's already told me millions of times. So I said, oh, really? I said, I had no idea. And then he also loves coffee. So I was like, oh, wait. And now next you're going to tell me that you love coffee? Anyways, he reads it and he didn't react at all. So I'm like, did I bother? I mean, did I It was just lighthearted teasing. Like, is he like butthurt over that simple little teasing? You know. But I wasn't trying to be mean or snarky. I was like, oh really? I have no idea. I was just playing around.
You know, food is really good. Just love food. I'm eating a can of creamy chicken noodle soup.
Oh yeah, I have some cans of that on my fridge. It's weird. I don't know. Today the only thing I wanted to eat was oatmeal. So instead of having dinner, I ate oatmeal earlier.
Are you lifting weights?
No, I actually haven't done that yet. I've been considering it, so I may do that at the Y because I can get a free personal trainer for like six sessions or something, and they can help me, they can teach me. So yeah.
I mean, you know how to do it, right? You lift weights.
Well, I just do. Well, when I go to the Y, I do the elliptical and the stationary bike, and then we walk the track. And then at home, I do yoga. Sometimes there's a yoga class at the Y, so I do that. And then I do like stuff to tone my stomach. I got this from a magazine or something. Some exercises that you do with the big exercise ball, and then the like rubber disc, and then the long tube thingy. So whatever that's called. So I do that. But yeah, no weights as of yet.
Yeah, I mean, when you lift weights, your brain is also lifting too. So if you want, more fortitude and more strength and more flexibility, I mean, lift weights. Like, don't delay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's called the riddle of steel.
No, I remember this one time. There was a guy I was talking to for 4 years that lived in Portland, and then I finally got to go and meet him. Okay, the what is it? TLDR. Too long to read. The TLDR of it is that he ended up rejecting me and going after my friend. But the whole time we were there, he kept trying to impress her, and I knew for a fact he did not lift weights because we talked about it. And so when we passed by a gym, and my friend's like, "Ooh, look at," she saw some guy in there. She's like, "Ooh, look at that, whatever." And then the guy goes, "Oh, I lift weights too." And I said, "No, you don't." And then he goes, and then he looked so annoyed and mad at me. I guess is part of why he rejected me, because I just called him out and it was bullshit. But whatever. He goes, "Well, I work at a bookstore, so I lift like 50 pounds a day." So that's what he's like claiming that that's what he meant. But he was just lying to impress my friend. But yeah. But anyway, I'll just never forget that because it's like, I lift weights, just like, it was so transparent. So funny. Yeah, the thing I'm trying to work on right now, like spiritually or whatever, is just learning to receive, because I've done a lot of work, I've planted a lot of seeds, and more often than not, even in relationships, I find myself standing more like in that masculine energy of chasing, really. And right now I'm trying to be more just a receiver of shit in a certain sense, if that makes sense. So today I went to this event, okay, and there was these oracle cards, which I just, they're for fun. But it was interesting. The one I pulled was called Stand Still. And so that's why earlier when you were talking, I said, stand still and shut up. Because I think that's the message that I'm getting right now. It's like, you planted the seed, you pushed and pushed and pushed, and now, like, get ready to receive the fruits of your labor, basically. Yeah. It's funny, that sounds like very simple, right?
Well,
but that's one of the hardest things to do is stand still and shut up.
yes, but you got to understand there's something else at play, which is really the Tony Robbins business, which is hypnosis. So the whole spiritual path is also a scam, meaning that you can make money from it. And it's not a scam. Like you're not, stealing. What you're doing is providing education, which is just psychological, re-education, reprogramming. So for yourself and others, that's what I like doing. I'm not making any money from it, but my point is it's very valuable communication. And T Rubs down there is technically in the communications industry because he's a web publisher or a web master baiter. But leprechauns got to earn a living too. And when you're in the Shire, you got a lot of time to meditate and learn how to develop and program and create a website and generate content and create a registration path and a profile ID so people can upload their pictures, write their little essays and articles. And anyways,
I actually could charge because, okay, so I have a friend who I met on this app. She's not on the app anymore, but we talk on WhatsApp. But I've been helping her a whole year with all this shit she's going through. And it's kind of like conversations like me and you are having. I have them with her, but then sometimes we get into specifics. And so she's been telling me lately, like, because she has a lot of money, and she's been telling me, hey, Rachel, like, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on therapists, psychiatrists. I've talked to all kinds of people for like 3 years or so. And she said, and it got her nowhere. And she's like, in the 1 year I've known you, she's like, I've broken open, I've healed, I've grown, whatever. Like she just tells me how much it has helped her, and she keeps telling me lately, hey, you gotta charge for this. Like if you want, you say you need money, you want money, make movies and shit, travel. Like she's like, people pay big bucks for the kind of work that I did with her. And I told her the hard thing about charging something like that though is, how do I even price it? Where do I even begin to go?
Well,
how much is this worth to talk to somebody all the time for like a year and help them through their shit? Like, I don't even know where to begin.
Well, my sister used to work for CaliforniaPsychics.com, and they bill, I don't know, they're doing $200,000 a day in credit card billings, people buying minutes to talk to psychics. So, what is like, it can go anywhere up to $60 a minute. $60 a minute. And people, anyways, their top customer was from Sri Lanka. Some billionaire, some rich person was spending $400,000 a year talking to some woman named Susan, some psychic. There's a sucker born every minute. That's the Crowley poem. You gave me $100,000, and I promised to teach you the secret how to make gold. And then I whispered in your ear, a sucker is born every minute. It's true. But the thing is, you can, rip off 100,000 people for $1 and get away with it, but you can't rip off one person for $100,000. So you have to do mass communication to be legally compliant.
Well, my other friend, here, I'll put it in the chat because I think my kids can hear me. They're in the other room playing. But if it was, she like, She just sent me some link to make money being if you catch my drift, hold on, I'll just
What, OnlyFans? Good luck with that. Sexting?
No, just being just doing that because she has a friend here where I live who makes like a ton of money just doing that.
Yeah, but what you're doing is you're spamming, and then you're getting people to sign up for dating app, and making money as an affiliate. It's I don't know. If you have a friend that actually does that, like, I don't know. Good luck or be careful. Or who knows?
Yeah. I mean, what I used to do, I've done this a couple times, is when I wanted like a new set of lingerie, right? I'd reach out to my guy friends and be like, hey, anybody want to buy this for me? I'll send pictures. I'll model it, and it's worked a couple times.
Yeah, but that's nothing. I mean, you need to make like $200 a day, $300 a day consistently. You got to talk to T-Rabs down there. That little fucking leprechaun.
Yeah.
He's got a giant African Nubian killer, aka a Ridgeback. And, he's built himself a little business. He's gotten himself, he's not quite out of the grind, but he's getting there. And he's got a big project he's been planning and working on. And I can't wait for it to become a big internet success. I bet you it's like the most.
You say he's a web developer?
Yeah. He's basically an entrepreneur, investor, web developer. He can help you bring anything to life on the internet. But,
well, I do want to create a website for my mental health symposium.
Talk to T-Robs. It'll build you the site for free. All you gotta do is send them some lingerie photos.
It's a deal. I'll do it.
Sold! A couple lingerie photos to build out your psychological mental health symposium website. Okay, I'm going to read to you one more riddle, and then I'm going to go.
Okay, sounds good.
This is called the Mass of the Phoenix. Actually, hold on one sec. I'll be right back. Okay, this is called the Mass of the Phoenix. The magician, his breast bare, stands before an altar on which are his burin, bell, thurible, and two of the cakes of light. In the sign of the Enterer, he reaches west across the altar and cries, Hail, Ra, that goest in thy bark into the caverns of the dark. He gives the sign of silence and takes the bell and fire in his hands. East of the altar, see me stand with light and music in mine hand. He strikes 11 times upon the bell, 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, and places the fire in the thurible. I strike the bell, I light the flame, I utter the mysterious name. Abrahadabra. He strikes 11 times upon the bell. Now I begin to pray, thou child, holy thy name and undefiled, thy reign is come, thy will is done. Here is the bread, here is the bread, here is the blood. Bring me through midnight to the sun. Save me from evil and from good, that thy one crown of all the 10, even now and here be mine. Amen. He puts the first cake on the fire of the thurible. I burn the incense cake, proclaim these adorations of thy name. He makes them as in Liber Legis and strikes again 11 times upon the bell. With the burin he then makes upon his breast the proper sign. Behold this bleeding breast of mine, gashed with the sacramental sign. He puts the second cake to the wound. I stanch the blood. The wafer soaks it up, and the high priest invokes. He eats the second cake. This bread I eat, this oath I swear, as I inflame myself with prayer. There is no grace, there is no guilt. This is the law. Do what thou wilt. He strikes 11 times upon the bell and cries, Abrahadabra. I enter in with woe. With mirth I now go forth, and with thanksgiving to do my pleasure on the earth. Among the legions of the living he goeth forth. This is the commentary. This is the special number of Horus. It is the Hebrew blood, and the multiplication of the 4 by the 11. The number of magic explains 4 in its finest sense. But see in particular the accounts in Equinox 1 of the circumstances of the equinox of the gods. The word phoenix may be taken as including the idea of pelican, the bird which is fabled to feed its young from the blood of its own breast. Yet the two ideas, though cognate, are not identical, and phoenix is the more accurate symbol. This chapter is explained in chapter 62. It would be improper to comment further upon a ritual which has been accepted as official by the AA. That's called the Mass of the Phoenix. Here we go. It's called Chinese music. Explain this happening. It must have a natural cause. It must have a supernatural cause. Those are bracketed in the word let. These two asses be set to grind corn. May, might, must, should, probably, may be, we may safely assume, ought, it is hardly questionable, almost certainly poor hacks. Let them be turned out to grass. Proof is only possible in mathematics, and mathematics is only a matter of arbitrary conventions. And yet doubt is a good servant, but a bad master, a perfect mistress, but a nagging wife. White is the lash of the overseer. White is black is the watchword of the slave. The master takes no heed. The Chinese cannot help thinking that the octave has 5 notes. The more necessary anything appears to my mind, the more certain it is that I only assert a limitation. I slept with faith and found a corpse in my arms unawaking. I drank and danced all night with doubt and found her a virgin in the morning. You know what I want to say, T-Raps. Oh, did he leave? Oh, he left. Okay, this is the commentary. The title of this chapter is drawn from paragraph 7. We now, for the first time, attack the question of doubt. The soldier and the hunchback should be carefully studied in this connection. The attitude recommended is skepticism, but a skepticism under control. Doubt inhibits action as much as faith binds it. All the best popes have been atheists, but perhaps the greatest of them once remarked, Quantum nobis prodest hac fabula Christi. The ruler asserts facts as they are. The slave has therefore no option but to deny them passionately in order to express his discontent. Hence, such absurdities as liberty, egalite, fraternite, in God we trust, and the like. Similarly, we find people asserting today that woman is superior to man, and that all men are born equal. The master, in technical language, the magus, does not concern himself with facts. He does not care whether a thing is true or not. He uses truth and falsehood indiscriminately to serve his ends. Slaves consider him immoral and preach against him in Hyde Park. In paragraphs 7 and 8, we find a most important statement, a practical aspect of the fact that all truth is relative. And in the last paragraph, we see how skepticism keeps the mind fresh, whereas faith dies in the very sleep that it induces. That's called Chinese music. Okay, I'll read one more because I love this book so much. It's called Buttons and Rosettis. The cause of sorrow is the desire of the one to the many, or the many to the one. This also is the cause of joy. But the desire of one to another is all of sorrow. Its birth is hunger, and its death satiety. The desire of the moth for the star at least saves him satiety. Hunger thou, O man, for the infinite. Be insatiable even for the finite. Thus, at the end, shalt thou devour the finite, and become the infinite. Be thou more greedy than the shark, more full of yearning than the wind among the pines. The weary pilgrim struggles on. The satiated pilgrim stops. The road winds uphill. All law, all nature must be overcome. Do this by virtue of that in thyself, before which law and nature are but shadows. This is the commentary. The title of this chapter is best explained by a reference to Mistinguette and Mayol. Again, it's called Buttons and Rosettis, or Rosettes. It would be hard to decide, and it is fortunately unnecessary even to discuss whether the distinction of the art is the cause, result, or concomitant of their private peculiarities. The fact remains that in vice, as in everything else, some things satiate, others refresh. Any game in which perfection is easily attained soon ceases to amuse, although in the beginning its fascination is so violent. Witness the tremendous but transitory vogue of ping pong and diabolo. Those games in which perfection is impossible never cease to attract. The lesson of the chapter is thus always to rise hungry from a meal, always to violate one's own nature. Keep on acquiring a taste for what is naturally repugnant. This is an unfailing source of pleasure, and it has a real further advantage in destroying the sankaras, which, however good in themselves, relatively to other sankaras, are yet barriers upon the path. They are modifications of the ego, and therefore those things which bar it from the absolute. Ding!
Well, I loved all that. It did make me curious. Do you have like a spreadsheet or a list somewhere of like these books that you read from or recommend reading? Do you have that?
Yeah, I could just give you 3 books. That's the best place to start. Do you want me to put it in the chat?
oh, I've always wanted a guy to read to me, for real, and this is the first time it's happened.
Yeah, when I go out on a date to the beach or something, I usually bring a poetry book with me. Yeah, I mean, I consider myself an actor because when I was in the eighth grade, no, when I was in the seventh grade, I played FDR and Annie in the eighth grade play.
Well, I mean, you're really good with the voices. That was cool.
Yeah, I would read these three books. Or I'll put four in there for you. Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, these, or you could even read Upanishads or Rumi. Any of these books, any book you can do um, gnosis with, or God union with. That you can read a book on statistics or Excel spreadsheets. It doesn't matter. If you're in the moment, you're in the moment. But yeah, I would read those four books. Those are like mystical books. The Book of Lies by Aleister Crowley, which is what I was just reading to you, and then Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, which we also read, and then I think you were here for Tanya by the Alter Rebbe, and then Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, which is Stoicism, and then Upanishads, which is the Hindu transcendental document or book, and then Rumi, which is the Persian philosopher poet. These are all, in my opinion, very powerful transcendental meditation hypnosis books.
Okay, sweet, thank you. And you know what else happened that I thought was very interesting? So, you know what I told you? I teased that guy about telling me that he loves cats when he's told me 50 million times. And I was like, and I said he never responded, so I wonder if he got butthurt. And so I thought in my head, I was like, maybe he'll still respond to me. And then literally, like 30 seconds later, I got a notification and I looked and he responded. And so I'm just sharing that because I'm like, wow, we really do have the power to cause things to happen that we want to happen by speaking it aloud or thinking it in our minds. And so I thought that was an interesting confirmation of that. So anyway.
Yeah, but it's a circuit. If all communication is hypnosis, but it's still circuit. It's still electric. So, a lot of people think that they have. I don't know. Do you have a dog? Like people think, that a dog can tell like before you're coming home, but it's still schedule. It's still like basically it's algorithm or it's your brain, your subconscious algorithm. Um, so that's the thing is your subconscious is an algorithm. And that's why doing these neurolinguistic programming, like aka book readings, are very important because it comes up in your communication. I mean, I've written just countless emails, but it's like reading books makes you a more proficient communicator, or at least have some humor, or because that's the big problem is most people are so serious and they can get so nasty, and there's no patience, no kindness, no grace, not being fun. So, or just being a prick or basically, not recognizing the spirit in the other person, which is basically respect.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad to me sometimes because, and I said this once in Andrew's room when I just got so sick of the way they like over intellect, or I don't know if that's the right term, but like they intellectualize everything. And sometimes I'm like, especially as Christians, I'm like, where's the heart? Where's like the passion? Not the anger, not the like misdirected being a jerk to other people, but where's like the passion and the heart and the emotion and the love when it comes to like what you believe? Like they just want to make it so sterile and so I don't know what the word is, like dispassionate, but want them to inject a little bit of, again, not anger, not passion anger, but like, my kids are really loud at the moment. It's bothering me.
And I think that was one of them.
They're on vacation.
To have it be a library.
Let them stay up, and now I'm like,
people said all kinds of things that I think were very important, you know. Here, knowledge about various plants.
But yeah, thanks.
Religious texts.
History, yeah, it's all history.
Declaration of Independence, all that shit. You can put it on there, you know. Why wouldn't you?
In a kind of hypnotic way.
That was the idea.
The times, yeah.
That was it.
Okay, so this is Adrian Dittman now.
I mean, I thought to me it was.
Listen to this. This is
it was a good
Elon.
act because that was the initial starting point of Bitcoin, actually. One of its first acts was actually, whatever Satoshi was, in fact, inscribing a message. Did the thing. Inscribed a message on the chain. Have you inscribed a message on the chain? How many maximalists have actually inscribed messages on that chain? I have. I got drunk and put a bunch of shit on there. A bunch of images too. And you think you can do that? Well, you can. I had a bunch of...
I've seen the stuff that you had in your wallet, man. It's kind of wild.
I was thinking about inscribing like my balls, like my shiny spherical balls. You know, I have these I generate these amazing golden, super smooth spherical balls. They're like really nice and shiny, and I got really drunk or something. And I said, "Hey man, look at what I just generated." And there's a bunch of pictures. It's just like super shiny spheres, super polished. I was like, "Look at these balls." And the other guy's like, "Oh wow, you got beautiful balls, AD. We gotta put your balls on the blockchain, AD." I'm like, yes. And then I just sent him more pictures of the balls, those balls specifically. And I just put a joke of it because I was like, I wanted to just troll people. I came to space and said, "Hey, I'm gonna put my balls on the blockchain. These super shiny spherical things. We're gonna take these shiny, golden, super spherical, highly polished balls and put them on the blockchain. I'm gonna send them to your wallet." And then this other guy said, "Well, I'm not sure about the legal implications of sending your bollocks to someone's wallet." I'm like, you did pay attention to the super spherical, shiny, polished aspect of that specific sentence, did you? You kind of, I guess I kind of lost you at putting balls on the blockchain, but yeah, that's where that's at. And yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to do. It was interesting because at the time I used to post a lot about spheres just for the memes. And I swear, I mean, I sometimes pick situations which is just ironic. And the reason why is because fucking a month or so after that, actually not even a month, like a week or so after that, people started like to have speculations about spherical UFOs. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my god. At that moment I was like, oh shit. I just like delete all my balls. It sounds wrong, but yeah. And like to these various configurations of these beautiful super shiny super spheres. And yeah, that we put that out there.
Yeah,
and then took it down because it's kind of sus, you know. You start posting about spheres and then there's like spheres floating around. It's like, oh fuck. It's like that time when I wanted to learn Russian. I was like, you know what? I like CS:GO. I'm gonna play, or I liked CS:GO. I want to understand some more about the language. All that bullshit. I'm gonna learn some Russian, and then, fucking like literally 2 weeks after that, the war breaks out. And I'm like, guess not.
It's wild.
So I gave up. I decided, yep, let's not do that. Let's not do that. War breaks out. I'm like, nope, fuck it. We're not doing that. Then I wanted to learn Chinese. Then it turns out that I technically should have done the Japanese, but then I shifted back to Chinese. I'm just like sitting here thinking to myself, do I learn something from the Bosnian side? Or do I learn Chinese so I can understand more Diablo builds? But then that just kind of like goes back to the Bosnian side, or whatever Eastern Europe is, because I'm pretty sure these are the people who play a lot of fucking PoE. So, but then most of the PoE stuff's gonna be in English, because everybody's figuring it out for the first time. So I'm not sure I'm gonna trust you, and I'm not even sure who makes the most builds. Whenever I ask somebody like, who are the greatest build creators, not a single person dropped a Chinese name. I'm like, well, that's a fucking like frivolous pursuit. You know? So I said, okay, you know what? Why don't we just continue English maxing and doing good shows? How about that? Let's stick with that for now and see how that works out. It's like English maxing now. But yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thing. Sure. Yeah.
This is Elon Musk. He goes by the pen name or the burner name Adrian Dittman.
Yeah, it's
He's live on X right now talking to his crew.
Oh, nice.
Otherwise, it would not make any sense. Yeah. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. That's been funny, but what is this shit? AI this, oh my god. The whole AI thing.
People are posting the spheres. Yeah, are you seeing this?
Oh my god, what have I done?
Posting sphere pictures, yeah.
Yep, we have spheres now. Yeah, this is whole sphere pictures and then replies. No relation, these are just balls. Incredible. Yeah, I did drunken screaming, that was something. Goes forward to the cigar space. Yes, nice.
Some of that code that you inscribed that does all the graphical display kind of looks like a screensaver. That was really interesting.
Oh, I didn't inscribe that part. That was mostly else. But
that's not okay.
Yeah, actually, my personal favorite was the one that like does a little scores pop up. That was nice. Yeah, it was like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. Like that is a example of what you could do with that chain and the storage on that chain. So now people just inscribe these weird GIFs that are just clogging everything, in my opinion. When instead, you could just actually inscribe functional stuff. Hey, what about rendering the human transfer orbit? That'd be kind of cool. People should know that. What about a star system? What about just the solar system itself? What about a library? No? Well, that shit just got lost in translation. People think about this because it's a thing that's cool. It's not a thing that's meant to be sold. You can sell it after it becomes cool, but it's still a cool thing to do. Like, don't you want something that is on there for as long as the thing itself that it's on that exists? Like, don't you want it to be there? You know, that's the sell. People kind of bought that, but then the domination is we want number go up and we make money. That never worked out. But yeah, that was a thing. That was a whole thing back then. Yeah. What the fuck? Oh shit! Yeah, I was just handed a USB hub. I was like, got handed around a piece of technology. I was like, what's this? I got a USB hub for something. Yeah. I'm multiplying. Just kidding.
You're not it yet? I was kidding.
Oh yeah, I remember those speculations. People thought it was Rogue AGI. I'm glad that a lot of people understand that I'm not Elon Musk. It's very great. It's nice to have that kind of audience. There's still a few schizophrenic people that are somehow convincing themselves still that isn't the case. Right? I'm like, what are you doing? What do you think this is? You have to actually listen to the show in order to understand the differences. I mean, look, as much as you should distrust the legacy media reporters, one of them said something really interesting that says, and he said, I listen to Elon Musk's clips and speeches a lot more than I actually really want to. And I can tell you that guy is not. I'm like, and then everybody understands. No, we're not and all these people don't even fucking follow me. I'm like, but dude, what kind of conspiracy have bought into? You're like trying to be the conspiracy theorist truthers, but you're like buying it, but you're like the opposite of that, and in that you're like the snipe yourself, or like that you are the liars. It's what is this? I don't get it. It was funny though. It's funny though because it trolled the Tesla Q massively, which I think led to their second downfall. Massive, absolutely massive. Fuck these people, man. We had respect for them, man. I heard them out and all that. Nah.
No.
Yeah, like I didn't believe a lot of what the people told me back then. I thought it couldn't be that bad. Actually, it's worse. So one of my friends, she was like part of the first wave when Tesla Q first started expanding. That was back in the early days before 21. Way before 21. It's like 19. Like coming out of 19, heading at 21. It was like this incredible period of craziness for Tesla. And there's a lot of shit that went on at the time. And Tesla Q was very massive back then. And one of my friends, she got doxxed by them. And that didn't stop her. She just kept pushing forward. Absolutely amazing in the fight. Like back then, the people who were on the Tesla side, it was as much, I think it was almost as much of a fight as the compensation package fight was. You know, 24. Right? It was in 2024 that the compensation package thing happened, where like the judge decided, hey, we're going to be an activist and take the complaint from a nine shares shareholder and like somehow destabilize and disable the compensation package. And that actually happened. So somehow that just got rid of a multi-billion-dollar compensation package. And like people say, oh my God, you should never be paid this much. But I'm like, dude, the guy put in the work and didn't actually get paid for anything. It's like that is the definition of a compensation. It's a performance-based compensation package. Which means if he hadn't brought the value to the company that was promised as a condition as part of the performance-based compensation package, they would have never gotten the compensation to begin with. And so, of course, you know, to fight for the rationale of that, back then it was a big thing. And I think one of the bigger fighters was, one of the massive fighters is actually Alexander Mertz. She took a massive initiative to deal out with all the legal elements. She did massive good work with that. Very good person. I like her very much. So that was another, I think, one of those great fights back then. And so this just like multiple layers to this. And the Tesla Q thing, I was like, that was one of the parts. It was roughly about the same time where they fell again. The legal aspect they didn't have an angle on. They didn't have an aspect on the engineering thing. They didn't have an aspect on the AI thing. They didn't have an aspect on anything at all because it kept fucking up because it stopped carrying up, right? And then, you know, I think one of their last strings attached was the potential for, you know, the Harris administration. And when that fell through, that was literally their last, like they were already down, I think as down as they could be. But now they're out of everything. They're out of the autonomy angle because robotaxi happened. They said robotaxi was never going to happen, by the way. And then it did happen. It was a bit of a delay, which is unfortunate, but it did in fact happen. And so even though the delay happened, they still pushed it through. And it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy because now they lost that angle as well. So they lost the AI angle. They lost the robotaxi angle. They lost the political angle. They lost the financial stock performance angle. They lost the criminal SEC angle because it was bullshit to begin with. Like, you can't just make shit up and expect it to have any kind of merit. So they lost that angle as well. And now they have basically nothing left. It's fini. It's finito. Finished. Gone. Now they're just delusional individuals that just shit talk saying, now their next take is going to be government control. I'm like, oh wow, that's your next pivot now. I already know it's going to be the next pivot. It's making them look even stupider because no one's going to want to hear it. Because they've had to deal with this for like, what was it? And people had to deal with this kind of language and nonsense for ages. And now they just don't want to hear it anymore. And they're going to say this shit. And it's not going to stick because, again, nobody wants to hear it anymore because they're tired. How many times are you going to like lie to people until they get fed up and it's like finished, it's over, you know? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like when you're being lied to a bunch of times. It's absolutely crazy because now they lost. At some point, you have to be able to shut down and say, no more, will be no more speak in this regard. You know, it's finished. You know? It's done now. I'm done arguing. We're done arguing the point. It's exactly what I did with those guys back then as well. When it's finally clear that those people were doing nothing but lie about the facts that they they're trying to put out there, which weren't all just all made up. Just, okay, we know this is made up, we know this is made up, we know that's made up. Now you just just gonna keep pulling it out. You just keep shutting the fuck up until you come up with the next thing that actually makes sense. They never were able to do so, and so it's basically shut it down. If you don't have the power to shut down those liars, shut them down as in take part of the argument, say next, after you take part of every single argument with verifiable evidence, then there is really no way forward. And that's what was big problem, and especially in the very early days, more or less, of the test queue, which was where there wasn't data, where there wasn't really an established community. Even if there was, it was a very shady one as well, because people would go back and forth and pivot and do all kinds of shit. We had like 4 queues became Tesla balls, and then 4 Tesla balls become queues. And I'm like, oh, you know?
Yeah, I know. By the way, your connection's a little ruggy right now. It's kind of robotic a bit.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, a little something.
Disgusting. Hold on.
So this is Elon live on X.
Yeah, you sound good now. Yep.
He goes underneath the name Adrian Dittman.
Like a ton of AI art. Yeah, but the biggest problem is always data. It's always the data angle, right? It's verifiable evidence and the strength of that evidence and the strength of the people delivering it. Because that's another thing. So that was also one of the greatest problems back in 2019, and then heading into 21. Effectively, then it was already somewhat established, and it kept going in loops. You see, because movements that are based in lies or something like that, they have these waves to them, waves of attack, where you have for movements that are based on success, like say building up stuff, that it moves on defense against whatever move on offense the other group has towards you, because you have a set goal in mind, and you're going to want to achieve that goal. They also have one, but they're the ones who are the offenders, not the defenders. You're going to be the defender. That's the idea. And that's what you can see with the queues. By the way, like I think the meme is when a company goes bankrupt, they put like a queue next to it, and that's why they said Tesla queue. That's the idea. Oh, and I think, they'd be done by themselves. It's going to make sense. But realistically, I mean, I don't know. It's a funny meme.
Inverse of that, they'll go bankrupt before Tesla does.
Exactly. Queued itself. QQ. Lol.
Yeah.
QQ'd itself.
Tesla QQ. Yeah. QQ.
So if Tesla Q.Q, that's going to be a thing. The regime got fucked. And it has so many, such misery. You know, like when people seethe and such, it was that. Such miserable, purposeless motherfuckers. It's like the stuff that I was explaining earlier, where you have like purpose in life and meaning in life. You seek it through beating struggle. These motherfuckers are just trying to make struggle up for themselves, but they can't pick which one they want to have. Like what?
Exactly.
Like, at some point you have this drive to create something on the internet, like just a presence on the internet. I did it in a constructive way where I said, I want to do something. I want to have shows. I want to do all this cool stuff, and I'm doing it, right? These guys want to tear somebody down. I want to grow. I want to have incredible experiences and give incredible experiences to others. I want to be able to keep growing that for eternity. It's like just continue growing it. There's not even the sky's the limit. There is no limit as to how big. And that's the idea. That's the idea. And they don't get that for some reason. They just get it for trying to tear things down. For actually no reason. Doesn't make sense.
See, Rachel, you're not crazy. Elon Musk is fucking crazy. Talk about inflation, manic episodes, narcissist. Like he's
stoic. I can analyze whatever the surface of the principle is, and understand what it is, even though I've never read books themselves. As if you read history, you were never meant to read those in the first place. So it goes.
Here we go again with this. He's.
This is how I honor the dead. Bro's been dead for like how many centuries? Like 1,000 years.
This is his podcast, though. I've been filming it. He does it on unrecorded, and I record it and post it to AdrianDittman.com.
Observations and
all
of that works.
Yeah, I found the account
online.
online.
Understand, hey, the philosophy was his philosophy is popular because
Elon?
he treated
his,
the people.
Oh, okay.
But you also have to be careful with that philosophy.
No, I love
careful
what
how
he
you
did when
apply
he
it
was
to
talking
yourself.
about being drunk.
Because it has to be, there have to be parts of yourself
You're not
that
crazy.
exceed the
Elon Musk
certain
is
limitations
fucking...
that could be detrimental to you. So at the end of the day, he did make a few wrong choices. One of which was he probably chose the wrong woman, or
he's
didn't
projecting.
treat the woman well enough, most likely.
He's projecting
because his bitch cheated on him with another Roman soldier, effectively. So people need to keep that in mind. Do you want to end up like Marcus Aurelius, or do you want to end up better? Do you want to end up here like yourself? That's the idea. You can't be another person. That shit's already taken. You have to be your own thing. It can be a variation of the other thing, perhaps, but that's besides the point. You have to be your own thing. Right? So, yeah. Damn, dude, 2024 is going to be insane. Sorry, 25, my bad. Sorry, like, I got so caught up on 24. Dude, 24 went by like nothing. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's so fast.
It's fucking December, man.
So much stuff happened, but it seems like, blink of an eye.
It feels like yesterday, man. It feels like fucking yesterday.
Yeah.
We did so much shit. Like, what did we do this year?
I wish I could talk to him. I think we would have a cool conversation.
The whole community.
Go to his X account and raise your hand, and I'll record you talking to him.
Yeah, you got your follower goals.
For real?
Yeah.
All you guys.
He'll probably talk to you.
That's amazing.
Oh, okay.
We actually have a show today. We got some pretty cool members here. We got Blythe. We got a bunch of established crew. Like, fucking, we did it, man. And we're gonna keep doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the value just kept going up to the point where you have, like, basically people who are very achieving. Like, you have people who are very high-achieving individuals to come here and say, man, these provide a lot of value. I think that is the sign. You know, that is an incredible sign. I like that very much.
Amazing.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go out of here. So that
Go ahead, come back if you want. I'll be here.
Okay.
Provide a perspective that otherwise would not be there. Because I think a lot of you here actually have this thing where you want to see me do certain stuff because you'd want to see yourself doing it as well. Like, hey, go troll this guy, don't troll that guy, do this thing over there, that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah.
Go on Alex Jones, talk about this, talk about that. By the will of the people, you are the people. I think that's fucking incredible. I mean, 300 or so of you show up here almost every single day to listen to the show, conversation. I think that's remarkable. We didn't have that last year. We have that now, and we're going to have it in 2025. 2025 is going to be just more of this, plus whatever else is going to run. I don't know what it's going to look like, and I think it's going to be a year of tremendous growth for all of us. And I'm going to see so much stuff. We're going to see so much stuff. And, man, also Merry Christmas, y'all. Really hope you're going to have a good time. I might do a Christmas show, we'll see. I might. But, damn, gotta recap on see what we all did. Shit. And dude, the year started out with a bang too, huh? Fucking February. Oh my god.
It goes crazy, yeah.
When the news picked up on my existence for the second time on fucking February. Oh,
yeah.
Conspiracy theories. Whee!
Yeah, and then you went on Alex Jones and stuff, yeah.
Man, that was fucking incredible. That was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Did risky shit. Did cool shit. Got to ride in a Cybertruck.
Doing donuts in the parking lot.
Spirit stuff to see. Shout on the haters.
Oh yeah. Dumped on people who Tesla Q and stuff like that. Yeah, it's great. Good
shit. I think this year was great. And like I said, like what I've pinned on my profile there, you know, this is the thing I think will be very important. Now, show will be key in this year. May next year be one of freedom and liberation for those whose merits have been denied by the ignorant fools and authoritarians of our time. And man, wherever they live, we gonna beat them. We're gonna make it better. And that's what this show is for. This show is for the people who otherwise would not be given the opportunity to breathe, have appropriate entertainment. Because what I do here is not for money. Not really. It's not a thing where I don't think there's any sponsor, for instance, that would support this. This is a passion project. You are my supporters. The income is just you guys, effectively, if you wanted it to be. I might even one day set up like when X payments becomes a thing and I need a particular thing done, I might be able to reach out. But like realistically, the best way to support is just like subscribe and get other people to subscribe to me as well. Just keep that going for as long as possible, and share this thing with your friends and have them listen to it and say, hey, we want to have an improvised podcast with fresh minds and fresh perspectives that have not been seen anywhere before, that are completely out of control. I mean, share this to your people and get them to go onto X as well, because that's where everything is at. This is the place for everything. And if you want to see what is happening in the world, X is the place to be. Without X,
yeah,
exactly. X is almost like a gigantic megaphone for the people who are otherwise voiceless, which is incredible. And I think part of that can be seen through what has happened with the CR bill in the USA, and through the stuff that's now been seen in various other countries and the nonsense that they're facing there. It is a freedom from the oppressive network of legacy media that tries to lie to you about what's actually happening. And the cool thing about this is that the truth are spread by none other than the people themselves, or even there in real time, and various many people here. And it works. If you are news posters and if you are people who share that kind of stuff, it can work out very well. I know I tried it myself for like a period of time. I used to post a shit ton of news. Remember that? Like I used to post a shit ton of news. I probably should kind of default to that to a certain point. Again, if there's like a big thing that happens, because I think that would be interesting. I decided to kind of phase out from that again, but I'll probably come back into it when it comes to it, and just become more of a, more so the culture page in a sense. I have this particular ideal. It's this culture of Adrian. It's kind of what that is. It's what this page is. And you are all supporting it effectively with the fact that you're just here, and that whenever we put something out, it is something that you're there for. I like it. I like it very much.
It's good, man. Yeah, keep doing what you do. We all love your content and everything, and we appreciate all your advice and everything that you give.
Okay, thank you. And make sure to follow Bly's here. He's like almost at 10K. I want him to go to 10K. That should be great.
Thanks.
Puts a really decent clips out as well. The clip, for instance, up there, it's nice because the way we post stuff is that it creates a type of database, a vector database in a sense as well. And we could just query things and take it out. See, I knew that clip was out there because it was labeled properly. We're able to put it there, and yeah. Man, this is pretty cool. I'm pretty tired at the moment, which is unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah, same a little bit, yeah.
But also another thing, man. I think one of the cooler things that has happened via the show is that people's performance socially has improved dramatically. People have said that their confidence has gone up, and they've tried different lifestyles which are beneficial to them now. People have taken up eating higher protein diets, and I mean, it's great to see that people are actually prospering as a result of this. Sometimes I get mentioned, hey, where are you getting this intel from? Oh, you got it from Adrian, didn't you? And then it's like this whole thing, and then it's like, hey, it seems kind of strange to try this out. Then you try it, and it works out for you, and it becomes an incredible thing, and it's wow. And I think for the next year, with merits and all being amplified, I think we should also kind of err into that a lot more. Get the right nutrition, get all the improvement that you can, because I think that in this life, you get this incredible shot at improving yourself almost exponentially, or at least logarithmically, for as much as you can. Exceed your current levels of potential with one step at a time, and as you're in the motion of doing so, never stop, because that's the best way of doing it. And start small, start at your room, clean it up and organize it, and then move on to your computer, clean that thing up, as in take out all the files you really don't need anymore, declutter, organize it all into perfect folders. You have your home screen and your like you have your digital empire that is your computer, and you have all of the games and everything. Let's organize your desktop first, make sure that everything is in the same region. There you go. Now everything's easier for you to reach. Next thing we're gonna do, hey, your phone. Make sure that everything you need from this phone that you're always going to interact with is on one screen. You unlock that shit. The stuff you need, first of all, has to be on that screen. That's the thing about your home screen. People don't know how to make their proper home screen. I can show you how my home screen works, right? It has everything on it. It has a bunch of context that I can quick dial via widgets, right? Because I know I need to call these types of people very frequently, so I map it out, and I have those buttons there. So all I need to do is just put the button push, I'm already there. I have an entire folder for my social media stuff. It's right there. I have stuff for search. I have stuff for like connection-related things and systems management. I have work folder, all this kind of stuff, all on one fucking page. I don't even need to scroll to the next page unless I'm doing entertainment, because I'm trying to distance the entertainment factor from the work factor. Because as soon as you open your phone, you should be in the grind mode. So, and then I swipe right, and I have a little bit of something there. I have some music. I listen to it, and listen to good music as well. Take out all the weird fucking slop that has garbage language in there that doesn't make any sense, that doesn't actually add something constructive. Listen to some classical music at least once a day or twice a day, like just before, right after you wake up, instead of like going through TikTok and watching a bunch of nonsensical slop that are supposed to mine you for dopamine and engagement. No. Log on to x.com, see what your favorite people are posting, and then listen to some classical music. Pick anything at all. Just listen to that while you go about your thing, while you're prepping yourself, while you're like brushing your teeth, making yourself tidy, showering, whatever you have. Listen to some classical music and you're fucking in the zone, man. You're right there. And that's part of it. That's part of the system. It has to be part of your entire routine. Morning, get up out of bed. Make sure everything is fucking clean. Good shit. Make your bed. All of that stuff. Now you have an organized computer. Now you have an organized phone. You're like right on to fucking task, man. You get all your shit done, never leave a mess anywhere, because once you leave that mess, it's gonna fucking pile up. I guarantee you 100%, because you're gonna think, I'm gonna deal with it tomorrow. Then tomorrow you deal with it and you're like, man, then you got more mess edits on top of that. You don't want that. Always make sure that nothing remains. You got a little bit of mess there, fucking clean it up if you have the time. Immediately, because if you don't do it immediately, it piles up and you don't want to do it. And now let's imagine that. You just owned your kingdom. You just cleaned your space and you kept it tidy. And you kept your digital spaces clean and tidy as well. You just fucking owned your kingdom there. Now you move on to the next thing. Maybe you're now more effective at work. Now you're probably doing all this kind of stuff that's making you a little bit better still. Now take up nutrition at some point. Manage what kind of stuff you spend money on. Cancel all the subscriptions from shit that doesn't work for you because it's never actually given you any benefits beyond just keeping you deeper in the shit. Cancel all that shit. Stop watching it. It's not adding anything to you. And who are you going to socialize with? The types of people that give you literally zero constructive feedback on everything and are just part of the slot machine and are keeping you deep still in the shit, just like they are? Or are you going to fucking evolve and say, fuck this, lock in, keep going, all that kind of good shit, right? So you finish up with that. And now you have extra funding, perhaps, even. You're saving some money. Now you can probably even improve your nutrition, just a little bit, just a tiny little bit. Now you can factor in something else. Once you've beaten all these struggles and you're like, yeah, bro, I got the fucking routine, and it becomes part of your habit. Now the routine and the thing that was initially difficult for you to do to keep everything tidy and maintained is your fucking habit. Now that shit you can't kick, that's incredible. Now it's just automated, you're just doing it. Now you can add something to your habit. You can add exercise, bunch of push-ups, bunch of sit-ups, all that kind of good stuff. Maybe pull-ups if you're lucky enough to have like one of those pull-up bars. Throw a couple of those in there as well, right? All of that shit. And now you're improving physically and mentally on every level. Now your life will slowly become more optimistic. Hell, now you may even see the world for what it is. Maybe you'll find an even better opportunity. If you can't perform well at your job, or maybe you're performing better at your job, and you can ascend hierarchies at that job. If you can't do that, but you find a better opportunity that you know is going to supersede the thing that you have now, and it's guaranteed that you're going to win with this, and you go, for that next thing, but you would have never been able to see it if you hadn't cleaned your shit up first. Because you gotta have a proper foundation. Because if you don't have that foundation, at its very core, at your heart, you are fucked. And you can't have that. So you go back on that. Go back on what I said. Have this whole thing clipped for you if you needed to. This is what has helped me even when I had a problem. It's all about organization and about keeping your shit stacked and well and proper and trimmed. You can't have like a situation where shit goes awry. It's like when you cook. Like when I go through a system of cooking stuff, I just did it today. First thing I do, have a bit of steak. It's out there, right? Still its packaging. I put a bowl there. I put spices in that bowl. I take butter. I slice off a piece that I need, put it in the pan. Then I wrap up the butter, put it back in the fridge. Then I have the steak that is inside of the basin or wherever it is, because it's there and still it's packaging. I use the same knife, cut it open, put the steak in that bowl. And then I can mix that shit. Alright? Until it's perfectly mixed. Then I can wash my hands because I just mixed the steak and my knife at the same time. Then I turn the heat on, and so you have this big piece of butter, and you can melt a little bit of that butter just until there's enough butter in the pan. Then you take that butter out of the pan, and you put it on a small little plate with a knife that you just cleaned. Then you take your steak, you put that in there, and then you get to fry that. While that's frying, you get to wash the bowl you just used. Once that's finished, and the steak is cooked on both sides, and you flipped it a bunch, you take it out, you put it in that bowl. Then you cut it up into pieces. I cut off all the sinew if you're using, like, say, a sirloin. Put that in that bowl. Or put it in the pan so it can soak up all the sauces. Put it in the pan, actually, yeah, soak up all the sauces. And then put that in that bowl. And then all you have is a pan, a knife, and a cutting board to wash. So you've minimized this amount of stuff that's needed and to clean up at the same time, and you have less to wash up by default. And you have a system now. Isn't that fascinating? And you never forget a single step because you can't, because each one is interlinked with the other and cannot proceed without the other one being completed first.
Exactly.
Max efficiency. It's a small thing to optimize, but it's a big thing because if you repeat it every single day, why shouldn't you optimize it to make it better? Right? That's the idea. It's just like with speech, it's the same thing. People have a lot of flaws in their speech, quite a lot of them, because they don't bother to educate themselves, especially when they're coming out of schools. They know nothing about the language of what they speak. It's like, you speak English. How do you not fucking know how to speak English? I'm not even English, I'm German, and I had to learn that shit. And the idea is because it's quality. It's because if it's something that is that important, and it defines a very large part of your life, you should be able to improve that to the point that you're better at that thing than anybody else, or at least the majority. You have to set a standard for yourself and keep exceeding that standard as much as you sustainably can. Now keep that in mind. Every single word that I say is very purposeful, especially the sustainably part, because while you can keep improving constantly, there are certain limitations, say with speed, or if your mental battery, or if you wanted to call it that, is exhausted because you're tired at the end of the day. Don't overload yourself, because if you burn out, that's gonna fuck you up, man. You're not gonna want to do shit. And that's a massive problem. But yeah, I would say do that. Like, have this, just clip this and fucking do that.
Yeah, I was gonna clip that.
The first things to do. This is not the basis for everyone's success. This is the stuff that works for me. Just title it the Adrian routine for coming out of the shit. But not even that. Even if you can't do that, that's like this is what I think a lot of the city dwellers should do, as a matter of fact. Even if you're like in your mom's basement or you still live with your parents, the same shit. Anyone could do this. If you have this privilege. You can run it back. Figure it out. You can do it. Because if you don't, somebody else who can will beat you at it. And somebody else who will beat you at everything, even though he's a massive fucking idiot, will, unless you're better than them. That's the problem. But that's the problem to solve. And the best part is, once you follow such a pattern, some may even recognize it. And those are now your friends. And now, you have found something that is incredibly rare. You have found your people. That's the idea of a community. Same as with this community. You have found your people. Hell, that's how I found all y'all. You look for certain patterns, and you say, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty strange. I like that shit. Why, you're the one that made a bunch of clips. I still remember, I asked, hey, can somebody make some clips? And a few people did some stuff here and there. And then you pull out some shit. I was like, hey, this guy's going above and beyond. This is kind of good. So, that shit's interesting. Put out a bunch of demands. Gave you a bunch of shit to do. It worked. Then I even gave you, even paid for the software that you're using. There you go.
That's great, yeah.
Now I have clips. This motherfucker's a high-level working machine, man. I didn't even know that. Works out well, though.
Yeah, I discovered a lot of things I didn't even know I could do. I didn't do that much editing before this, so... But yeah, now it's going pretty well.
Yeah, fucking machine. Elliot does the same thing. I discovered this motherfucker because he just made time lapses and shit. I was like, damn, so you're working on a whole bunch of code, and you're keeping yourself accountable by literally recording that shit and putting it online every now and then. I see how this is. This looks pretty cool. And I looked through some of his other content. I was like, this guy builds shit. I like. Humor level, pretty good. There we go. So you start to find your own people, and you recognize certain patterns. That's pretty decent. Speaking of recognizing certain patterns, how is your school going? Oh, yeah.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, it's done.
Is it done? How much free time you got now?
Well, San Francisco is in about 5 days, so I've got a job that's 3 days here on a fine-tuning job, and then I'm out.
I won't have time. Unfortunately, I won't have time for San Francisco, otherwise I'd join you. That's going to be next year.
All good. But yeah, you don't have to. I think it would be, I don't know. You want to plan that shit out really well, because people will notice right away. I don't think I can show. I don't think I can show my fucking noggin in San Francisco. That's just way too risky. It's two things. Either I'm this is gonna be the grand reveal, or it's gonna be super concealed. I'm thinking of one place actually. That's not even in San Francisco, but it's kind of close, I think, travel-wise, for where you are. It's in America, of course, but that's gonna be in the future. We'll see. I see.
It might be Cali.
You gotta go to one of those conferences and just sneak in, and then just ask questions. You gotta nobody will know you, and then just pop up to the microphone and just ask a question, ask a good question on a presentation,
Yeah.
And then people will be like,
what the fuck was that?
That'd be awesome, dude. And then it'll be one of those banger weeks where it's oh my gosh, I met Adrian.
I gotta travel the whole fucking country and seek out every single tech event and appear at every single one of them. And nobody would know what hit him. They're where is this guy? How is he everywhere? That'd be kind of funny.
He is God himself.
Yes, I have. It won't be such a bad idea. But I'm thinking, if we wanted to meet up, there's one particular place. I'll see if it is. Could even do Ray. Why, is Ray still, in contact with us?
Ray, yeah, he's still in the Discord. We can message him anytime, Yeah, he hasn't been speaking that much lately, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, the line's open if we want to talk.
Oh yeah, I'd probably ask him his life at some point. I'm thinking about a little get together there. I could do.
Nice.
Could be cool. Meet a whole bunch of cool people. But yeah, might meet Xander again. That would be nice. Gotta ask him how his shit's going. He's very busy, man. He's got a family. Just crazy, man. Internet presence and family? That's pretty good. He sounds very nervous when he's like on speaker, which I think is like a great disadvantage that he has. But like what Bruce says is something that makes sense. And his thoughts turn nothing into a whole lot of something. Like his understanding creates a lot of upside in cash, at least. Very good mind, very interesting. If he's got the speech angle down, shit goes very smoothly. But I mean, yeah, you can't do that. I have to like coach this guy. It's gonna be very difficult, especially because time is a factor. Learning is gonna be also a factor. But it might work. I consider it might work. It's all about convincing people to do certain shit. Based on need, of course, because if you don't exceed your default programming or foundation, and renew that shit to a certain extent, then it's going to remain the same and it's going to have problems. I still remember, boys never used to speak. I didn't even know what bro sounded like until I had him in a Discord call. Like, damn, you sound a lot younger than I thought.
Yeah. I never spoke on X once, I don't think, ever since I joined. I typed in replies a little bit, but I didn't really speak out on any spaces or anything. Yeah.
Like, this motherfucker never speak, bro.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
Dude, I just found this stupidly good, overpowered, like, full stack developer, like, AI thing. It's called Lovable. And I'm not even kidding. I was able to make, like, a ChatGPT clone in 15 seconds from scratch. It's, like, stupid.
Nice.
Like, dude, it's like, I'm not even kidding. Like, if y'all are, like, full stack devs, this thing is, like, free, I think, for the first, like, 2 runs. Go to, like, lovable.dev, and you can just type in your prompt for, like, a website, and it'll make the thing and display it on literally the website, and then you can add it to your GitHub and run it locally. Like, it's so cool.
You can put it on your GitHub so it looks like you're working.
Yeah. Yeah, I just made like a neon flavor chat UI for Llama 3 in like 15 seconds. Yeah.
Nice. Elliot, we need to make Adrian OS.
Adrian OS. Write Adrian OS. This should be based on this profile. Paste these links here, and it's like, oh, Adrian. Oh, this person. Sure. 30 seconds later, 42.
I've grown so big that even ChatGPT knows who I am.
That's good.
Oh, wow.
Does ChatGPT know who I am?
Probably not. You have to reach a certain level of escape velocity. Like, once news articles are written about you, that's when you win. Just make sure they're written about the right things, because otherwise your life's going to become a little difficult.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
As my last update, there isn't some widely known or recognized information specifically about someone named Elliot Arledge. Damn. It just did me like that.
For someone like you, unless you become the next fucking Jan LeCun, but a Canadian style turning into American, like there's going to be very little impact you're going to have. Unless, depends. Like, you can hyperscale your shit. I could probably cause some chaos, but...
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, think about it this way. For me, getting to where I am was very competitive, but that's just social competitiveness for just shows and such, right? So it's very difficult at that level. The tech scene is worse. Okay, you get a bunch of the indie people doing some software doing, pretty cool dudes, very chill, very mellow. I get with them along very well. But then you have a little level of people with capabilities and connections. They think they're like otherworldly above that. And those guys are like incredibly difficult to get along with because they just either A, want to just disappear because it kind of hurts their ego, or B, kind of like have you impress them to the point it's like, aight, fair play. Very difficult. And then it gets worse because then you have the social relationship aspect that's on level 3 of this. And that then is, it's a very unseen aspect of the world. And meaning through that requires you to basically create city. Something like that. And Perplexity is good because that shit goes mainstream. Everybody needs a browser, and a good one at that. And Perplexity had a big start off with that.
Dude, Perplexity is great. I can literally just be anywhere on my Mac. I can go Shift Command P. Oh, Perplexity.
See, here's the thing, though, right?
Who is
this guy? Yeah. Created the product, very influential product, very good product. A lot of people spoke very highly of it. What happens then? Srinivas goes on to fucking TV, is there, is interviewed by these many legacy media sites. Very good. And is a positive light as well. See, that's very difficult to create. For you, it might be for courses, but that would only... I have a few things in mind. Stuff that I've worked on, actually. Stuff that... Actually, I could really scale it if I wanted to. Yeah. Just enough it exists. I'll do some looking into that. But, I mean, it exists, I already built something similar. That's on a different front, but it could create an offshoot that is much more advanced in this specific area. It could become a great thing. We'll see how it works. It becomes a scalable thing, then we are even, gonna become known on the tech map. But mostly you, though. Because I want it to be mostly you. But it could be fun. Why are you laughing?
Because this app is so cool.
Nice. I think this conversation is going to be something for the future. And if it works out, it's going to be a pretty damn bright future. I feel a good feeling on the inside of it. And yes, Merry Christmas, everyone. Although that merry part of that Christmas is going to appear in a couple days. I'm going to be relatively busy on the 24th and 25th. I'm going to see if I can do a show. I'm going to pull it off. No guarantees, but I'm pretty sure that I will be back on like the 25th latest. That's got to be. I know I'm going to probably be doing a show on the 25th. Maybe even the 24th, but we'll see how that works out. Most likely not the 24th, but I think definitely the 25th. Would you all be doing on the 25th?
Christmas
opening presents.
Yeah, relatives during the probably morning/afternoon, and then I'm not sure about the evening actually, so we'll see if I'm free during that time.
Yeah. Remember, y'all, don't get drunk. That shit ain't worth it.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna drink.
If they want to give you a hard time about it, be like, nah, man, it's a personal choice. Everybody chooses a lot of good stuff, and this is the thing I want to try out. And it's been going very well for me. I can stay up and be cool.
It's actually more fun to be the sober one and everyone else is drinking.
See, I keep fucking telling everybody this shit. You know how cool it is to be the only person at a party that actually remembers what went down?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like stuck with all the memories.
Power Structures 101. Be the sober one at the party.
You get to...
Then you can come back 10 years later and say, hey, look at this picture.
Exactly. It's like you carried your friends' bodies out from the fucking club. They all drunk as shit, and you put them in the back of the car, and you're up there and vomit all over your interior.
Give me this job or else.
Yeah. God, I once had to deal with like a bunch of people who were super fucking drunk, and the whole car smelled like alcohol. And I'm like, there's no alcohol on you. That's how much is in your fucking system? Jesus Christ. It was disgusting. I had to open the window. That's how bad the smell was. And they didn't even vomited yet, so that was good. Remarkable. What a crazy thing. What is this shit? Huh? Do you remember when we did the 48-hour space or something? What was it now? 24-hour space leading up to that one?
Yeah, there was a Starship launch that ended up being like a 24-hour space, wasn't it? Probably even longer.
Was that last year or was it this year?
I think it was early this year, if I remember correctly, but...
No, I don't think it was. It might have been last year.
Was it?
Yeah, it was last year.
Oh, it might have been.
Yeah, it was definitely last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year. It could have been. I don't know. Yeah, it was. I think it was late last year. I guess like it was IFT.
IFT2 or IFT1?
Yeah, was that? No, IFT. It couldn't have been IFT1. I remember IFT1. IFT2, I think most likely was at 3. Might have been 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was actually 3. The progress on that was so fucking insane. I still remember like looking at the way that Starship was put together. 2020.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? I watched that shit live. I watched how they built that fucking rocket together, man. And then over the time, like until it was finally launched, I still remember like I did so much stuff. Like I looked at it. My life was so different when I first saw the rocket come together. I looked at it. I thought, wow, that's so cool. And I kept looking at it. Even showed people, I was like, wow, this thing is gonna take us to Mars one day. Effectively, right? And I showed a lot of people. And then to see it finally fly, it was a very strange feeling for me because I watched this thing come together every single day. And you watch it blow up, and it's like, wow, that was a couple years of my life there. That's crazy. I saw this thing be put together. I did so much stuff over that time period until this moment. That was correct. Nobody could understand it. Nobody could understand the sentiment, but it was still pretty cool. And I didn't have the community that I had back then. I had nothing, practically almost nothing. Maybe a few OGs from back then are still here and remember, but they were almost none actually. But you know, it's more now. That's crazy, dude. Elliot, how have these spaces improved your life over this year?
There is, yeah. My brain kind of shut down there. There's a lot to unpack.
We met Elon at one time. That was pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I think we've all gone over the story of, like, how that started, but yeah. I don't know, just the energy. I mean, it's good to be able to just chill and do what you want while you're listening to people and interacting with people that are, you know, sort of at the same level that you are. I find that like really fun. You know, just being able to like I didn't do this before. I would always just like chill out and just put my headphones on, listen to classical music literally all day and just pump stuff out. But being on here, getting some of the social interaction at the same time, you're getting technical interaction, you know, it's a lot, but I think it's worth it.
It creates a lot of shit for you as well. And besides, you get the presence.
It's not just about the people you meet, but how it changes you, right? At the end of the day, it's about you. And like for people who think that meeting someone or a particular person will change them, it's like, no, at the end of the day, it's you. That's all that matters. So that was revealed to me in a very upfront way. And it was, yeah, it's good to learn that. It's good to learn that everything is reliant on yourself. Nobody else can change you. That's only you. You need to, essentially the goal in life is to achieve self-mastery. Everything else comes after.
Yeah, otherwise you're fucked. That's why I said you gotta have a good foundation, stuff to build on. Otherwise you're completely gone. Yeah, your case is pretty good. Have you, like, would you say you've become a lot more productive now, in a sense? A lot crazier in your thoughts?
I'm not even sure. I don't track my productivity anymore. I used to.
Okay.
But I haven't had
off the rails.
Like, I used to have a need to just track and, like, see how things went by documenting when something got done and being like, oh my gosh, we completed, 72 items this week. Now there's probably like hundreds of items this week, and I simply don't have the time to drag and drop it into the done tab.
You used to be Elliot 405B, now you're Elliot Arledge. Zero constraints model.
Yeah, with the upfront creepy profile picture as commented by some people. I think
it's great. It makes you look like you're about to read somebody's fucking like thoughts through the little iris scanner that's embedded in everyone's iPhones. Well, like, I think that's fucking funny as shit.
See, you know why I got this? Because I had this viral post once where I said reply and I'll put your profile pic on a tier list. And I got about 360 replies to that post. So that gave me a very good idea of what profile pictures most people would probably find attractive and good. Like S tier versus A tier versus like, holy shit, you need to change that immediately. So kind of learning this, there are some traits that you pick up on. A lot of it is lighting, resolution, and how close the thing is. If I look at your profile picture, you should be writing this down. If I look at your profile picture and I can't see what the hell's going on, you know,
exactly.
Okay, even if there's something beautiful, like, right? If I can't see what's going on, you failed. Okay. If I zoom in and I try to look at the quality of it, if I look a little deeper and I actually care and I see that, oh, this is 480p resolution, I can't notice it from a distance, say in the space. But when I look closer and I investigate you, I see, oh my god, you didn't put that much effort into your profile picture. I might not take you as seriously.
Also, it has to be a brand.
And then there's, lighting as well. So if it's like dark and everything, if you've got like a dark background or I can't see you, right? I can't see you. You are not all there, right? There's something lacking. And so that also might make someone take you less seriously. I mean, sometimes your posts are really good, but there's also that visual aspect of the profile picture attached to the post. It's not just the post that does the work. A lot of it is the profile picture too. This is why you see in the tech community, all these cracked anime profile picture guys are like doing super well, because the anime profile picture has it has an aura to it, right? Especially the dark contrast ones. So, there's very keen details like this, and that's kind of how I arrived at this one.
Yeah. I like that. And for me, like, I chose this thing because I said, there was another thing that I always look at for profile pictures, and that is this a thing that you will stick with forever? Like, what if you couldn't change this ever? I chose this, and I said, this is my brand now. This is who I am. And it is who I am. And that's there. So whenever there's like a meme, like a reference to something, it's this unchanged constant in the universe that just pops up somewhere, that image, like it's in the audience somewhere. It's very recognizable. Billions of people have seen this one image, and it has not changed. That's another thing. And you can see on this panel right here, these images, these profile pictures look very specific. You got Elliot's here, you got Bly's, you got mine. These are very unique and very recognizable. They're not copy-pasted off each other. They're extreme high variance. In my case, I always wanted something that's not directly just person-person. So in this case, and also if it's minimized, that's another thing. Like, for instance, if you see the what's being pinned in the space, you see a shared by Adrian Dittman, you see a little minimized version of my profile picture, you can still recognize it. That's pretty good. Yeah, you got like the white cross, sort of. That's what it comes across as, and that's very,
Yeah, not very many people have a white cross looking profile picture from a distance. Yeah, but for those like looking to generally improve it, kind of what I did, and you can take this if you want. If you don't do profile pictures the same, don't take that. But I pretty much I threw like a bunch of images, like 5 or 6 images of myself, like close-ups, like some of the best pictures of mine that look like me, decent lighting, whatnot, and I threw it into a stable diffusion model, and I fine-tuned it using a low rank adapter, and I then sampled from it. I sampled like 5 or 6 times and eventually landed at this one. There were a bunch of other images that were close, but they didn't quite give the same lighting and all the good. I don't know. This one just had like all the traits, you know? So you just kind of look through those, inference a few times, and you pick one. It typically costs like $5 to $10 to do the fine tuning, but that's like not really much if you're really on about expanding your profile and coming across a certain way to people. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. Like, it depends on what's for you. There has to be a thing that's for you. That's the end of that. And it has to be a brand that you're willing to represent. And that's recognizable. That's even what I did with Oda. Like, his shit's very recognizable as well. Like, you'll know. Immediately you see that profile, it's there. Synthetica has also got a pretty decent one here. You can instantly recognize that he has that. Ali as well. He's got the anime thing. Decent I like the consistency of it as well. Like over the rest of the profile. Very nice. There are many different people in the community that did it as well. Synthetica's got this really cool like environment as his banner, which I think is real fucking sweet.
Yeah, they all stand out in their own unique way.
Guy's got like the Goku thing.
Yeah. Big Dragon Ball Z.
Wise is probably the most obvious out of anyone's.
Yeah.
Like, I just look for the lightest blue, and I was like, oh, that's
instantly recognizable. It's so good.
Like, looking at the pin post at the top, like, I could immediately, like, the first one I saw was Blaze's, because the blue just...
Exactly, it's so fun. It's like a branding image. It's great.
You gotta make, like, one of those, you gotta make a dog like that, but, like, less creepy eyes and more blue.
That's the idea, though. Your creepy factor is there as well, because you got the shade thing happening, so, like, some of your eyes aren't lit up properly. It's fucking funny as shit.
Because if I look more, like, I look at your eyes and I'm like, I don't see his actual eyeballs. What's happening there? It's, like, kind of creepy when you look at it first. So I don't know.
I think it looks fine.
That stands out.
I think it looks fine.
Shivas have, like, pretty dark eyes.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, most people probably wouldn't like care or notice, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's also cool about the profile here is like, for instance, for mine, whenever it comes in like a post or something, it's always reaching out towards the thing that it's next to. You see what I'm saying? Even on the stage here, when you look at the space, it's like it's reaching out to the space itself. Even on the post,
cool, yeah.
if you have it like on a post or something, as soon as you see my post, it's like whatever statement there is, and it's there. It's facing towards the statement. Like I'm presenting something. Pretty cool.
That profile picture is how I envision Adrian when he transcends.
Yep. That's pretty much how it feels like. Yep.
I envision you standing there, just like this, like a sideways T pose, and you're just you're just transcending into the fourth spatial dimension.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know how you actually traverse into the fourth spatial dimension? Is linear algebra. Get good.
I was about to say drugs, but that's close to it.
Nope. I highly advise against
Good
that.
job.
Awesome.
Everybody else is like, yeah, let's get one shot by the fucking 60 Mesopotamian demon via ayahuasca. Let's go. Just kidding. Not trying to make fun of the plants here. What did I say to the animal kingdom? Okay. Oh, I hydration is so important, man. So I think drinking a lot of water. Try not to drink tap water. That shit's gonna kill you.
I have drinking 2 liters of tap water today. About to be 3.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Please tell me you filter that shit. Oh my god.
Gargling
Nope.
with it now.
Please filter that shit. Get your family to buy an RO system and filter that shit. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there that's gonna give you dementia if you don't.
Good.
What do you mean good?
This is the next flow state. You guys don't get it.
I say fuck shit. That's worse. Oh my god. I guess it's been rubbing off. What the fuck?
Yeah. You drink the tap water, rip off the shirt, and start doing push-ups. Ready? Adrian, do some push-ups with me.
Alright, how fast?
How fast?
Slow. Okay. You doing stretches before or after?
I already stretched today.
You gotta like warm your shit up, otherwise you're gonna like fuck up your joints. You know, like you have the sound that comes out of your joints if you don't stretch beforehand. Like if you do it a bunch of times.
I ice picked all of the ice on the driveway off today, man.
That's a fair argument. Excuse me. Let me get all the gas out of my system so it like rupture something. All right, here we go. How many are we doing?
I'm at 4.
That's way too fucking fast. You gotta do them shits way slower, man. It's gotta be like 1 a second. Or 2.
Alright, I'll join you guys too. Let's go.
Alright.
Now I'm doing 1 every 2 seconds.
Good shit.
This is great.
I did like 10. Whoa. Oh, that feels good.
Like 12 or something.
Yeah, I did some too.
Wait, how many did you do?
I was like,
I think I did like 10, 12.
How fucking fast you guys are going, man? You gotta slow that shit way down.
I started early.
No, you gotta go for.
Dude, the slow ones hurt.
Okay, so hold on. You take 1 second to go down, 1 second to go up.
Yeah.
Let me count that shit. Now, I take at least 2 seconds to get up, and about 2 seconds to get down. It's extremely grueling, but it really maxes your muscles. You see the idea?
Oh, yeah.
It's getting real painful with it. It's terrible to speak. To do this.
All right, now we do a squat. All right, it's 11:39 p.m.
All right. You're already there, you know that, right?
I'm already where?
Already at the time you stated. What are you using, like an analog clock on your wall or something?
I don't have a clock.
sundial.
Sunday.
Inverse sundial.
Phone. Yes.
But he's like,
Ooh.
well, how is the squat supposed to be working again? How does he do it?
What do you mean?
The squat. The thing that he taught us.
How does the squat?
The passive
What?
squat. How did he show us to do it?
I don't know. Like you're sitting on a toilet.
Alright. It says something about the way he did it. He like poke your ass out like, yeah, we go. Something like that. And then do this.
Oh yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that burns.
Yes.
All right, now some core. It's my second workout today, man.
Yeah, you're going hard.
Going hard. This is what happens happens when I get a break from CUDA, man. I actually get a life. This is like the first day.
It's nice. It really stretches your shit out, man. Actually, I'm gonna end this space here because this sounds really weird. So I'm
I can't hold it, man. Shit like that.
Dude, it really does. You have like a bunch of dudes on a space groaning strangely. How does that not sound gay? Anyways.
Someone joins this space, they listen to like,
exactly. Like, what's happening here? Somebody's either practicing or practicing. You know? It's like, what? Anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for coming. Make sure, if you haven't already, follow my media guy here. Make sure to turn notification on for me. Make sure to subscribe to me. Follow Elliot for the software shirts. And we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Same place, same time. Have a wonderful night. Almost morning.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. See you guys in the Discord Copies department.